Hello, good morning students. So yesterday we were discussing about Afro-Asian unity. So the major initiatives made by India for the cooperation of Asian and African nations. Okay. So we discussed that Asian Relations Conference was convened in 1947. Then International Conference of 1949. Then Bantam Conference of 1955. Then NATO. Or NAM, Non-Aligned Movement of 1961. Okay. So we discussed the three factors which culminated in the formation of NAM. Then the leaders of NAM. Okay. I think you studied all these important topics. So, okay. Then peace and conflict with China. So we discussed that in earlier times India and China had very friendly relations, but during that time leaders like Vallabhbhai Patel had fears of Chinese aggression, but Nehru never thought of a Chinese aggression. Okay. Then the signing of Panchasheel in 1954, peaceful coexistence, agreement for peaceful coexistence. Then we covered the 5 principles. Then the issue of Tibet. Okay, China claimed administrative control over Tibet in 1950. Then who opposed that? The Tibetans opposed. In the earlier stage, India also persuaded China to recognize Tibetan claim for independence. Then the one clause of Panchasheel was used by India, and then they considered or agreed China's claim over Tibet. Which clause? Respecting each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Then Dalai Lama accompanied Shao Enlai. Then he explained all worsening situation of Tibet under the Chinese rule. Then China assured greater autonomy. Then in 58, armed uprising in Tibet against the Chinese occupation, but it was suppressed by the Chinese government. Then in 59, Dalai Lama sought asylum in India. Then China has created this Tibet as an autonomous region. Now it is governed by a people's government led by chairman, and that chairman is the subordinate to the branch secretary of Chinese Communist Party. Okay. So the Chinese invasion of 1962. You already studied about Chinese invasion of 1962 and the relations between the two in the alternative centers of power. Here again we have to study about the Chinese invasion of 1962. Okay. So the two developments strained the relations between the two. The two developments. One, the occupation of Tibet in 1950. At that time there was no open opposition. We already covered that. Then the suppression of Tibetan. When the suppression of Tibetan culture started, then India was discontented towards this occupation. Then Dalai Lama sought asylum in 1959. And then China alleged the government of India for that India was allowing anti-China activities. Okay. So what was the criticism? The government of India was allowing anti-China activities to take place from within India. Actually, they disliked that refuge given to Dalai Lama. Okay. So China alleged that the government of India was allowing anti-China activities to take place from within India. Then territorial dispute between India and China. You already studied that China claimed 2 areas within Indian territory. So which are these regions? The Aksai Chin region of Ladakh in Jammu and Kashmir, then much of the state of Arunachal Pradesh. At that time, this region was called as the Northeastern Frontier Agency. Okay, NEFA, Northeastern Frontier Agency. So, over these territories, over these regions, they had claimed, China claimed 2 areas within Indian territory, Aksai Chin in Ladakh, then much of the state of Arunachal Pradesh or NEFA, Northeastern Frontier Agency. Then between 1957 and 59, China occupied the Aksai Chin region and built a strategic road there. In the period between 1957 and 59, China occupied the Aksai Chin region of India and built strategic road. Many discussions were held, but no solution was there. Differences couldn't be solved between the two. And there were several small border fightings. Okay. So, in the period between 1957 and 59, China occupied Aksai Chin region of India and built strategic road there. Discussions were held between the two countries, but differences couldn't be solved. Several small border fightings were there during this period. Then you already studied about, in the first chapter you studied about the Cuban Missile Crisis. So it was in 1962. So at that time the entire world attention was towards this Cuban Missile Crisis. So in 1962, when the Cuban Missile Crisis occurred, the entire world attention was towards the Cuban Missile Crisis. So this time was utilized by China and they invaded India in October 1962. So both the disputed regions were attacked by China. Okay. So the world attention was towards the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, and during this time China made a massive invasion, or China invaded the disputed regions Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh in October 1962. So first attack lasted 1 week and captured key areas in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so first they attacked Arunachal Pradesh, and the key areas, the important regions of Arunachal Pradesh were in the hands of China. So second attack next month. So Indian forces, at that time the Indian forces could block the Chinese advance on the western front in Ladakh, but in the east the Chinese advanced to the entry point of Assam plains. Okay, so first they captured the regions of Arunachal Pradesh, then moved towards the Aksai Chin region. So now the Indian forces blocked the Chinese advance on the western front in Ladakh. Okay, but in the east the Chinese advanced to the entry point of Assam plains. So China declared a unilateral ceasefire. So Chinese troops withdrew to where they were before the invasion began. Okay, so they started the invasion, at the same time they stopped the invasion. Then who became victorious in this fight, in this war? China became victorious. Okay, so China declared unilateral ceasefire. Then Chinese troops withdrew to where they were before the invasion began. Okay, so with the Chinese conflict, or with this Indo-China conflict, at the global level, India's image became diminished. So India's image became diminished with this Indo-China war, because during the time of war, India approached America and Britain for military assistance, but they didn't get. Okay, and USSR was neutral during this time, during the time of the this Indo-China war. So it created national humiliation. It created national humiliation, but at the same time strengthened the spirit of nationalism. So India's image became diminished. Actually, Nehru approached America for jet planes, but during that time America was not ready to give this. Okay, and even before the time of Cuban Missile Crisis, India got some weapons from USSR. Okay, so during the time of this war, Indo-China war, when India approached America and Britain for military assistance, they didn't get, India didn't get any military assistance from America and Britain at the time of this war. And what was the approach of USSR? USSR remained neutral. So it created national humiliation but strengthened the spirit of nationalism in India. So at that time, the Defence Minister of India was V.K. Krishna Menon. In your text it is given V. Krishna Menon, his name V.K. Krishna Menon. Taking the responsibility of the failure in the war, he resigned the post. Okay, like that, top army commanders also resigned because of the defeat of India in the Indo-China war. And Prime Minister Nehru also faced criticism for his naive assessment of Chinese intentions and lack of military preparations. Yesterday we studied that even the borders were not protected by the Indian army at that time. It was under the control of paramilitary forces. Okay, and when some leaders of the Congress reminded him of the chances of aggression, Chinese aggression, he never agreed it. Okay, so Nehru faced criticism because of his inexperience in this field and his unawareness about the Chinese intentions and lack of military preparation. So Defence Minister V.K. Krishna Menon resigned from the post. Top army commanders also resigned. Nehru faced criticism for his naive assessment of Chinese intentions and lack of military preparations. So for the first time after independence, for the first time, no confidence motion was moved against the government. Okay, so Nehru faced criticism and his government faced no confidence motion. No confidence motion was moved against the government, and it was a time of by-election to the Lok Sabha, and Congress lost some seats in this by-election. Okay, so as a result of the failure of our government in the Indo-China war, there was the resignation of V.K. Krishna Menon, then resignation of top military officers, then criticism faced by Nehru, then no confidence motion was moved against the government, then also Congress lost some seats in the Lok Sabha when by-elections were held. So the Indo-China war affected the opposition also. So how did it affect the opposition? So Indo-China war is also called Sino-Indian conflict. So it was a time of the rift between China and USSR. So the relations between China and USSR became worse during this period. And these two reasons, the Sino-Indian conflict and also the rift between China and USSR, resulted in differences within the Communist Party of India, CPI. Okay, so the Indo-China conflict affected the opposition also. In India, the opposition was also affected by the Indo-China war. Because of this Sino-Indian conflict and also the rift between China and USSR, there were differences within the Communist Party of India. Differences within the Communist Party of India. Okay. So there was a pro-USSR faction within the CPI. Pro-USSR faction, the faction or the group in support of USSR. Okay. And this group had closer, they remained within the party, within CPI. So the pro-USSR faction remained within the party, remained within CPI. And they had closer ties with the Congress party. So who remained within the Communist Party of India? The pro-USSR faction, and also they had close relations with the Congress. Then next group, the second group, they for some time they were closer to China. Okay, pro-China faction. So sometimes they were closer to China and they were against these relations with the Congress. They never liked the relations with the Congress. So the Communist Party of India was split into two. Okay, divided into two, CPI and CPIM. Okay, and during this time many CPIM leaders were arrested. Communist Party of India, that M Marxist. So many CPM leaders were arrested during this time. Clear? So the pro-USSR faction remained within CPI. They had closer ties with the Congress. Next group, for some time they were closer to China and they were against any relations with the Congress. So party split occurred in 1964 and many CPM leaders were arrested during this period. So there was a volatile situation in Northeast, and this volatile situation was realized by the Indian leaders during this time. And this region remained isolated and underdeveloped. The northeastern part of India remained isolated and underdeveloped. Then there were challenges of national integration and political unity. Nagaland was given statehood. Okay, the state of Nagaland was formed in 1963. 1st December. So on 1st December 1963, Nagaland was formed a state. This Manipur and Tripura, they were union territories, but elections were conducted to the legislative assemblies, or legislative assemblies were given to these two union territories, Manipur and Tripura. So the Indian leaders realized after the Sino-Indian conflict, or after the Indo-China conflict, the Indian leaders realized the volatile situation in Northeast. This region remained isolated and underdeveloped, and there were challenges of national integration and political unity. Then Nagaland was formed, the state of Nagaland was formed on 1st December 1963. Then Manipur and Tripura, even though they were union territories, elections were held to the legislative assemblies of these two regions. Okay. Then wars and peace with Pakistan. Fourth topic, wars and peace with Pakistan. So in 1947, immediately after our independence, there was a proxy war with Pakistan. So there was a war between India and Pakistan, proxy war. Actually, the war was fought for Kashmir. At that time, Kashmir was not a part of India or Pakistan. Okay. Kashmir was an independent region. It was ruled by a Hindu ruler. I think last year you watched that video. Remember? So it was a region under the control of Hindu ruler. So when there was a tribal attack on Kashmir, tribal group of Pakistan attacked Kashmir, the ruler of Kashmir sought the help of India. Later this issue was referred to UN. Okay. So after this incident, Pakistan emerged as a critical factor in relations with the US and later with China. Okay, critical factor in India's relations. Okay, India's relations with the US and later with China. So in 1947, immediately after our independence, there was a proxy war between India and Pakistan. Actually, the war was fought on the issue of Kashmir. A tribal group from Pakistan attacked Kashmir. Then the ruler of Kashmir sought the help of India. This issue was referred to UN. Then Pakistan emerged as a critical factor in India's relations with the US, then later with China. So after this war, after this issue of Kashmir, actually there was a policy of cooperation between India and Pakistan. Okay. There were no frequent fights between India and Pakistan. They followed a policy of cooperation. mainly in the matter of the restoration of women to their original families. So, during the time of, we have already covered the topic of partition. So, immediately after partition or during the time of partition, many women were abducted, okay, from their families. So, it became essential for the two governments, Pakistan government and India government, the restoration of these women to their original families. And there was a dispute between India and Pakistan over the sharing of river waters. So through the mediation of World Bank, India and Pakistan signed the Indus Waters Treaty. Then who were the leaders that signed this treaty? Nehru and General Ayub Khan. And it was in 1960, Indus Waters Treaty. So, after independence, after the war between India and Pakistan in 1947, there were no frequent conflicts or fights between India and Pakistan. Actually, they followed a policy of cooperation. So, mainly for the restoration of women to their original families who were abducted at the time of partition. Then there was a dispute over the sharing of river waters, and through the mediation of World Bank, it was solved. So, India and Pakistan signed the Indus Waters Treaty in 1960. The leaders who signed were Nehru and General Ayub Khan. So, there was an armed conflict between India and Pakistan in the year 1965. At that time, in the year 1964, Nehru passed away. Then Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister. And this armed conflict over the regions of Rann of Kutch in Gujarat and Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. So, armed conflict was there in the year 1965. Who was the Prime Minister at that time? Lal Bahadur Shastri. Which regions were attacked? Rann of Kutch in Gujarat and Jammu and Kashmir. Then Lal Bahadur Shastri ordered for counter offensive in the Punjab border, and the Indian army reached close to Lahore. Okay. So, counter offensive was ordered by our Prime Minister. Then the Indian forces reached close to Lahore. So, there was the intervention of UN during this attack 1965. Then Tashkent Agreement was signed in January 1966. And Lal Bahadur Shastri and General Ayub Khan signed this Tashkent Agreement, and it was under the mediation of Soviet Union. Okay. And the war affected the economic situation of India. That means the economic situation became worse as a result of this war. Okay. So, armed conflict in the year 1965. Lal Bahadur Shastri was the Prime Minister. Then the regions which were attacked by Pakistan, Rann of Kutch in Gujarat and Jammu and Kashmir. Then the Prime Minister ordered counter-offensive, and the Indian forces reached close to Lahore. Then there was the UN intervention. Then Tashkent Agreement was signed in January 1966. Then Shastri and Ayub Khan signed it. Then who mediated? Soviet Union mediated. Then the war affected India's economic condition. Clear? Then next war in next class, okay, on Monday, Bangladesh war, not today. So Chinese invasion of 1962. Two developments strained the relations between the two. One, the occupation of Tibet that we covered. Then during the time of Tibetan occupation, there was no open opposition, and when there was the suppression of Tibetan culture, India became discontented. Then in 1959, Dalai Lama sought asylum. Then China alleged that the government of India was allowing anti-China activities to take place from within India. Then territorial disputes between India and China over the regions of Aksai Chin in Ladakh of Jammu and Kashmir. Then much of the state of Arunachal Pradesh, northeast, that region at that time it was called Northeastern Frontier Agency. Then between 57 and 59, China occupied Aksai Chin region and built strategic road there. Many discussions were held, but all these became failed. Several small conflicts were there. Then it was a time of Cuban Missile Crisis. So the entire world attention was towards this Cuban Missile Crisis. So in 1962, in October 1962, China invaded India. Both these disputed regions were attacked. First attack lasted 1 week and they captured the important regions of Arunachal Pradesh. Second attack was in the next month. Then Indian forces blocked Chinese advance on the western front in Ladakh. But in the east, the Chinese advanced to the entry point of Assam Plains. Then China stopped the war by the declaration of a unilateral ceasefire. Then Chinese troops withdrew to where they were before the invasion began. Then India's image became diminished with this defeat in the war. So during the time of war, they approached America and Britain for military assistance, but they didn't get. Then USSR remained neutral. So it was a national humiliation for India, and it strengthened the spirit of nationalism. So Defense Minister V.K. Krishna Menon was, he resigned from the post. Then top army commanders also resigned. Nehru faced criticism for his naive assessment of Chinese intentions and lack of military preparations. Then no confidence motion was moved against the government for the first time. Then Congress lost some seats to the Lok Sabha in the by-elections of that age. Then the opposition was also affected mainly because of these two, Sino-Indian conflict and the rift between China and USSR. Okay, differences started within the Communist Party of India. One group, they were in support of USSR, pro-USSR faction. They had closer ties with the Congress. Next group, they were closer to China for some time and they were against any ties with the Congress. So, party was divided into two. In 1964, many CPM leaders were arrested during this period. Then the leaders realized the volatile situation in the northeast. This was an isolated and underdeveloped region. Then there were the challenges of national integration and political unity. Nagaland was given the status of a state on 1st December 1963. Then Manipur and Tripura, even though these were union territories, elections were conducted to the legislative assemblies. Then wars and peace with Pakistan. So immediately after independence, there was a proxy war with Pakistan and India on the issue of Kashmir. From Pakistan, a tribal group attacked Kashmir. Then the ruler of Kashmir sought the help of India. So it was referred to UN. Then Pakistan emerged as a critical factor in India's relations with the US and later with China. So after this war, the Kashmir ruler agreed to become part of the Union of India. Then after this war, both the countries followed a policy of cooperation, mainly for the restoration of women to their original families who were earlier abducted. Then there was a dispute over the sharing of river waters. So through the mediation of World Bank, it was also solved. India and Pakistan signed the Indus Waters Treaty. Then the leaders signed this treaty were Nehru and General Ayub Khan in 1960. Then armed conflict was there between India and Pakistan in 1965. At that time, Lal Bahadur Shastri was the Prime Minister. So Pakistan attacked Rann of Kutch in Gujarat and Jammu and Kashmir. Then the Prime Minister ordered counter-offensive. Then the Indian forces reached close to Lahore. Then also UN intervention was there. So Tashkent Agreement was signed in January 1966. Lal Bahadur Shastri and General Ayub Khan signed the agreement with the mediation of Soviet Union, and during this time the Indo-Pak war affected the economic condition of India. Economic condition of India became worse. Okay, clear?